How's it, everybody? In this week's video we are going to be talking about the state of our South African physio nation. So we've been having multiple meetings as a South African family with everybody's favorite Uncle Cyril over the last year. I thought maybe we should speak as a physio family about what's happening both pre-pandemic, during the pandemic, and what our future holds together. I think it's important that we chat about this so that we can kind of make a plan together to see where we're at and plot the way forward together. Because if you're watching this like me, you're probably really proud to be a physio and you care about where our profession is going in the future. So let's start with the amount of graduates that are leaving university and going into ComServe every year. I think, if I stand to be corrected, but we've got about 7 universities that offer physio. Let's think of them having 50 graduates each in their 4th year class. It kind of leaves us roughly, if I just do some quick maths, let's assume with pass failure rate, etc., that we have about 350 physios going to do comm service every single year. This has probably almost doubled over the past 10 to 15 years compared to how many physios left 4th year when I left varsity in 2012, and probably a lot more physios are leaving now than 15, 20 years ago. So what's happening to all these physios? Well, a lot of them don't end up not practicing because we've got a very competitive industry. Unfortunately, the state systems can't employ many of these physios, and that's also really hard to get a state gig. And then what happens, especially in the orthopedic and NMS outpatient space, a lot of people end up becoming single person private practices. So I refer to myself as sort of like the middle brother or the middle child of the South African private practice physio sort of setup at the moment. I'm not old enough to be employing tons of people in a really big practice model, but I'm not young enough to just be leaving ComServe and finding my feet in private practice. So I'm the older brother to new graduates, and I'm the younger brother to people who have been practice owners for like the past 5, 10, 15 years. What we got to remember is that generationally we're also becoming very different from one another. People that are in their 50s and own practices are very different to myself that are in our 30s, and then the new graduates, the millennials or the Gen Zs that are coming into the workplace. And why I say generationally we're different, our ideas around business are different, our ideas around quality of life and what we want to get out of our profession are also different, and the way that we like to interact, learn, be managed, be kind of empowered is also completely different. Just as an example, older generations, we sort of grew up in a very hierarchical practice system, where millennials probably respond more to kind of the shared learning, collaborative, empower someone to work autonomously type of management style. What this means is that we've got a sector that's really filling up with a lot of physios. We're not really creating a lot of opportunities for them to join practices and really go. We're seeing a lot of high turnover and a lot of the single person practice pop up at the moment. And then we've also got these big generational differences. So let's see it not, I mean, that is what it is right now, but let's see it as an opportunity to try and create models and opportunities that we can work together, grow something a little bit bigger in terms of South African physio instead of this highly competitive model. What we see right now is a lot of infighting, people bringing each other down, crabs in a bucket mentality, a lot of HPCSA claims lodged against each other, that sort of thing. And I think ultimately it's probably not great for the state of our physio nation. Ultimately, I think we need to just have more of these types of conversations. I'm not saying I've got the answers, but I'm saying let's engage on our platforms and within our societies, bodies, groups, provinces and unions, etc., etc. Let's try and engage and dialogue in these kind of topics in terms of where we are at as a South African physio cohort, and where do we want to go together? What do we want to do promoting values, etc., etc. Ultimately, I've always said this slogan, let's make physio great again. Like a lot of you, I'm extremely proud to be a physio. Let's talk about these things so that we can raise the stock value of our profession. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you again soon.